going to talk about where was the site of the first mass was held. Is it in Limasawa or in Macau? There is a controversy regarding the site of the first mass ever celebrated on Philippine soil. There are two conflicting claims regarding this. One school of thought points to the small island south of Leyte, whereas the other school rejects that claim and points instead the beach called Masao, at the mouth of the Agusan River in northern Mindanao, near the village, now the city of Butuan. To prove and give us evidences and to claim their points, we have here two groups, having a debate to defend and stand their arguments. On the right side are the group who agree that the first mass was held in Masawa, and on the other sides are groups who affirm that the first mass was held in Masao. I call the House to order. I call upon Ms. Jezabel Leopoldo to open a case from the opposition and to introduce her team.
Good day, Madam Speaker. I would like to introduce my team, which are Ms. Ibol and Ms. Nora. Together with my teammate, we affirm that the mass was first held in Masao, Butuan.
We thank the speaker from the opposition, and now I call upon Mr. Linjan Bansalan to present their proposition and introduce their team.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I'm Linjan Bansalan, and together with my team, Ms. Sombrero, we object the proclamation that the place where the first mass was held in Masawa and not in Butuan.
Each of the debaters have 1 minute and 30 seconds to present their own arguments and rebuts. Your timer starts now.
On the statement of Father Fernando Collins, a historian in his work Labor Evangelica, he asserted that Magellan went to Butuan and there he celebrated the first mass and erected a cruise. And to support this, Antonio Pigafetta testified that he gave a gift of certain things to the Queen Mother of Francis Louis of Savoy and Mother of Francis I. Gian Bautista Ramosio mentioned that a copy of Pigafetta's account was given to Louis of Savoy, whereas this manuscript was translated to French by Jacques Fabrice and reprinted by Simon de Collins. Then it was translated back into an Italian version by Ramosio, and it was the basis of Collins' account. Thus on the other way around, Collins' account was considered reliable and there was a monument erected during 1872 to commemorate the first mass in Butuan on April 8, 1521. For the reason, we claim that the first mass happened in Butuan.
There have been many contradictions on the recognition of Limasawa as the site of the first mass, but there is a strong evidence to prove that the first Catholic Mass in the Philippines was held in Limasawa, and these are the Pigafetta and Agus account. The most complete account of Magellan expedition was that of Pigafetta. He was a member of the expedition and an eyewitness to the first Mass. He was also among the 18 survivors who successfully came back to Spain. Another notable account of the Magellan expedition was the logbook of Francisco Albo. He was a pilot on the Magellan flagship Trinidad. He was also one of the 18 survivors along with Antonio Pigafetta. And while he was on the expedition, he wrote daily on his logbook. There are several comparisons of Albo and Pigafetta's account, but some details differ only in description or names. Both of the latter's accounts supported the claims that Masawa was indeed the small island of Limasawa, and also in their accounts, there have been no point in their expedition where they got to the island of Butuan. The National Historical Institute and Philippine government acknowledged these claims and reached to an agreement that Limasawa is indeed the site where Magellan held the first mass.
Agree with the argument presented by the proposition team. I claim that this Masawa is in Butuan and as a proof. An Historia de Mindanao Hulog written by Francisco Gambes, who worked as missionary in the Philippine state, that Magellan went to Butuan because they heard the king that was more powerful, and they wanted to hit him. It was said that their expectation were satisfied by the king, and there they planted at the cross on a hill and a solemn ceremony as a sign of a future alliance in Francisco Collins' work. The first Mass occurred the same day they planted the cross. For the reason, we believe that the first Mass appeared in Butuan. Thank you.
I disagree with all the claims of the opposition's romance with versions of the Figa Vita manuscripts are not reliable. The transformations of texts from the Figa Vita to Louis Savoy to Simondis Colin. It's without the commemorative sports that Figa Vita himself did mention that he gave a copy of his manuscript to Louis of the Savoy. To be simple, the gift of a certain thing or the claims for the first argumentative speaker was based on the original and rendition, the text or the Figa Vita. About I would like to point out, based on the Father Collins accounts, Magellan and he meant with to Cebu on April 7, 1521. But in the moment's inspiration, the first Mass was held on April 8, 1521 on Butuan.
How it's possible to go back to Butuan from the Cebu from just one day. We are in the Butuan is the 266 kilometers away from the Cebu, and the ship of Magellan that time are not fast. Each and to add to our arguments of the same day of the Mass, a cross was erect on the summit of the mountains, and according of Francisco Alvin, on the summit of the mountain you are considered islands from the west and western. Where is a Butuan can be the sea on the northern locations based on the topographical details given by Alvo and Figa Vita. It describes the present Limasawa. And thank you.
Oppose the motion of this House. We claim that the first Mass took place in Butuan and not in the Limasawa. We believe that our sources are reliable and that Magellan landed first on Butuan where the first Mass took place. The monumentum erected was a proof for it. In fact, there are artifacts that will prove that the first Mass occurred in the island. Those are the presence of barangay in Butuan, which they believe that it was used for transportation during Magellan's visit. The opposition teams used the wide range of historical sources regarding this historical event. While the claims of the proposition team are only based on two accounts, and Butuan as the site of the first Mass in the Philippines has been a belief for centuries. Thank you.
Congratulate both teams in the job well done. You did your best to provide arguments and rebuts. Judging from the facts presented and basing from the information and evidences which I have gathered, I affirm that the first Mass in the Philippines was held in Limasawa. That means that I firmly stand on the side of the proposition, although the evidences they presented are based only on two accounts. those accounts were proven as primary sources. The corroboration of information and statements on those two were present, while the evidence presented by the opposition team was mostly based on second-hand accounts. Even though it was used and supported by their historians, the statements were inconsistent and do not corroborate with others. But I would like to clarify that the notion in this debate is not a way to downgrade the cultural or historical importance of Butuan. Butuan shows a lot of